All right, guys, I'm going to go over gold today and how it was traded and how the setup was. I've got the checklist there, and I've also got 4 o'clock marked. That's when I closed the trades, so only traded Bitcoin, gold, S&P, and platinum. So already did Bitcoin. This is the gold trade. So as we're trading, again, we're looking at a couple different things. One, we want to look at the power trader indicator, which is the bottom indicator. The upper line's 15 minutes. Set is set on 15 minutes. The middle line is 60 minutes, and the bottom is the 240-minute time frame or 4-hour time frame. So the reason why we want to look at those higher time frames, we want to trade in the direction of that. So if the 4-hour is trending in one direction, I would like to trade in that direction. It's a safer trade if I trade in the direction of the 4-hour, the 60-minute, and the 15-minute. So trading in the direction of the higher time frames is a safer bet. It's a safer trade. Holding, okay, so this indicator actually gives me confidence to hold in my trade. As things switched over to red, the 4-hour is green, and then finally switched to red. And then as everything stays red, guess what? It gives me confidence to hold my trade short. Okay? So how many times have you been out there trading and you're trading on a lower time frame, a 3-minute, 1 minute, 5-minute, or even 10, and you freak out because it starts going the opposite direction? Okay? So you always, no matter if you're using this indicator or anything else, you should always be peeking out at the higher time frame. It's something you should do every week, every Saturday or Sunday, or even Friday night. Look at the 4-hour time frame, the 1 hour and 15 minutes, see what's going on, mark up your charts, and then do it daily. You should always look at those time frames on the before you trade. When you first sit down, look at the computer, I like to go out and look at the 4-hour, the 1 hour, and the 15-minute. And I was doing that on every pair, trading 6 instruments at a time. Now today I only traded 4 because I knew I was going to do some videos on them. So I don't have to necessarily go out and look at the 4-hour, the 1 hour, and the 15-minute every day when I come to sit down and trade now, because I have this. So with the indicator, I know that the 15-minute has been short. The 1 hour has been short. So if I trade in that direction of those time frames, I should be able to capture part of that move. Okay? So I got in short. And then the 4-hour turned at 10 o'clock and followed suit. Well, then that gives me confidence to hold my trade, hold the runners. We don't like closing out everything. How many times you get in a trade short, like you get in short here, it hits your take profit, and you close it all, or even down here and you close it all, and then you leave more on the table. Okay, so that's why we leave runners on. So again, the upper part of this is trend direction. What does the higher time frames tell you? The 15-minute, 1 hour were red when I started watching. Okay? So when I started watching, it was pulling back here. Those were both red. The 4-hour was still out of whack. Still was green. Okay? So if I traded short, it might be a riskier trade. So just be a little cautious. Okay, then we're looking for traditional chart movements, traditional price action. We're watching what price is doing, how's it moving, what candles are printed from the price that we're seeing. Okay, so we saw a pullback. First, it came and broke this low. We saw it pull back to test that low, and it didn't hold up. That low didn't hold up. Went right through it. So as it's tracking up here and printing green candles, again, I'm looking to go short, because those two are red. So when I draw this line up here, it's actually a retracement line. Okay? So a couple things I'm looking to do. One, I'm trading short with the indicator on the bottom. So trading in the direction of the indicator, I have 50% reason to take the trade. I clicked this button because I was looking to sell. So at 50%, is that enough reason to take a trade? Well, no. I mean, if it is, I might as well wake up in the morning, look at the indicator down here, and say, okay, it's red. I'm just going to get in short. Right now, just take it short. Okay? I need to see what's happening. We need to look for that setup. So what this was actually doing was retracing back. Okay, so it had moved short, right? The 15-minute 1 hour red, and it changed over. So it's moved short, and then it's pulling back. That's our retracement or pullback. Okay, that gives me 10% more reason to take the trade because it's pulling back. It's going to give me a better price entry. So I tick that box. Now I have 60% reason to take the trade. Guys, there's a reason why these are colored red here, or pink, whatever you want to call it. 50 and 60, we don't take trades. Okay? We just don't. 70, 80, 90, 100, we take trades. What's 100? 100's an A. What's 90? A B, 80, C, 70, D. Well, what do you think 50 and 60% are? They're Fs. We don't take Fs. We don't take 50 and 60% trades. We'll take a 70 if we want, go lighter on contracts. So if I'm going to max out my contracts, let's say 10's the max I want to do. Well, then I'm looking for that 100% setup. You know, do 10 contracts. If I get better than 100, that's even greater. You know, I'll still do 10, but that should give you more confidence to take the trade. You're waiting on that perfect setup, okay? Which we don't always get up to 120. They do happen, but we don't always get them. So again, 10 contracts with 100%. Maybe you go 8 contracts with 90, 6 contracts with 80, 4 contracts for a 70% setup. That's how I would scale down my contracts. If a 70% setup is riskier than 100, why would we put on 10 contracts? Okay. All right, so those are the things we're waiting on. So it retraced up, pulled back up, so I ticked the box. Now we're at 60. Did it break the retracement line? It did. It broke the retracement line or high-low line in case we don't get a pullback, but we're just using a high-low break, okay? Price action break. So did it break the retracement line? Yes, it did. So we ticked that. It broke it here. We're at 70%, okay? And then after that, did it pull back to test that retracement line or high-low line? Okay, well, it pulled back. It didn't go all the way to the line, but it pulled back some, and the next candle even more. So it did pull back. So I went ahead and ticked it, and then I went ahead and took the trade on that. Pulls back, yeah, on this one. So at the time I took it, and then this is the bounce, which happens next. So at the time I took it, I took an 80. Now for me, I'm typically, on this account I'm trading, so it depends on the different accounts. This one I'm typically doing 20. Okay, so since it was not 100% set up, I just went in with 10. I only went in with 10 on the 80. And then it actually bounced, you know, off the retracement line or HL line, high-low line, which is this right here, this candle. So I know it didn't, again, pull all the way back. They don't always pull all the way back to the line and bounce. But if you look at where it pulled right here on this candle, and I can take this all the way, it basically turned right at the wick, that inside top of this move, the wick part of it. So I felt pretty decent in going ahead and getting in there. I got in with 10 contracts short, knowing that if it pulled back a little bit to actually go the inside top, then at that point I could wait on red candle and place more contracts. So I realized I might have been in the negative for a while. Stop was up above this high, wick high. And then we ended up getting the next red candle, which is our bounce off of that level. Okay, so it came down, pulled back, and bounced. So that was our bounce, which put it into 90. And then after that, we actually had a sell signal. Now, I was already in. Okay, so we actually had a sell signal. So that's your 100% setup is right there on when that sell signal came. Okay, so I just got in kind of early on the move. So I just wanted to point the two differences out. I will show you a 3-minute here. We'll switch over to 3-minute shortly because someone asked me about that. So this is me getting in on the 1 minute, and then it went to 1-to-1 level. I closed 8, okay, and moved my stop to the halfway point. And then this level was hit, and I'll go through how I manage my stop. And I need to pull that sheet up. I kind of move stuff around on my computer, so you have to kind of bear with me as I figure out where everything is. All right, so yeah, I moved my stop to halfway, and then when it came and hit this level right here, I moved my stop to break even. Sorry, I can't spell. I'm just going to take out. Fast fingers Freddy over here typing. All right, so moved my stop there and left it till 4 o'clock. I basically left it on the day. Let me see. Yeah, LA. So I left the stop alone, and then when it hit level 6, I did move the stop. So it hit level 6. That was not hitting level 6 right here. At that point, it didn't hit. It hit over here. So over here, it hit level 6. And when it hit level 6, I moved my stop to 3021.6, which is up in here. Should be right in there somewhere. Above this high. Okay, and then closed out the rest of the trade at 4. Okay, so I lost back some after it hit level 6. But I still made more on the day on the whole thing. Now, I'll quickly, before we go through the replay motions, I just kind of want to show what the 3 minute looks like. Okay, so here's the 1 minute, right? It broke the retracement line, came back to test, red candle, then signal. Now, I got in on the pullback. Little riskier entry, right? I got in on the pullback. I didn't wait for it to give me the rest of this. So I got in a little sooner, but I got in a little riskier as well. Okay, waiting on the sell signal. If you got in there, it goes positive for a while, but you sit in the negative for a bit. Okay, now let's look at what the 3 look like. If you look at the 3, now I'm going to have to move this over here. So if you look at the 3, sell signal came in the same spot. That sell signal is not going to change. Okay, because that sell signal is based off of all 3 of these time frames lining back up. So when that came up, it said, hey, the 4 hours lined up with this as well. So getting in, a lot of times these do pull back after you get a signal. So you have to know that you might sit in the negative for a while. So even getting in there, it pulled back. You know, it pulled back here, which is basically the inside of this top. Okay, on a 3 minute. So it's up to you whether you want to stay on a 3 or a 1. I chose to go down to a 1 because of the news we had. Okay. So let's go over. I'm going to run the replay on it, just so you can see the stop, you know, pretty much the stop management on it. All right. So there we are. We'll tick over one at a time before we get the entry in for some stop movement. Okay. So right here, if you look at time of day, it was almost 10 o'clock. Okay. The news came out at 9:45. So it came out over here, that red candle. So I chose not to trade around news today. I chose to wait. I didn't even take a trade before news. All these came after. Okay. And I know I moved this out of the way. So that was the pullback. Now that's when I chose to get in. Okay? Because one, I also have a down trend line way up here. Okay? Now, getting in there and putting my stop up here, sometimes these instruments will break a retracement line or trend line. They will scale up the backside. So it's a chance I took getting in and doing that. All right? So we put on 10. So I shorted 10. Oh, I want to drag my order up. So risking 410 on this trade. Okay. I forgot what we risked it on the other. I think it was around 300, 2 something. On Bitcoin. And we locked in almost $1,000 on the whole thing. So 10 short. We're going to wait till it hits profit targets. So we're just watching now. We already know what we're going to do. Now, there comes the sell signal. So now I know the 4 hour is realigned with me. So I'm like, great. Okay, here we go. It's all lined up now. I got in. I definitely got in at a good price. Okay. I took a risk. It paid off this time. It doesn't always. Took a risk getting in a little early, okay? But I'm focused, I'm watching, and now I just got to watch it hit targets. Now, I can't do this in replay mode. I wish I could. I wish I could come put a pending order down here, but you can't do that. It would be nice if we could, and I know, I think it's been suggested out there with TradingView. They get stuff done pretty quickly, but it would be lovely to see that. I would like to, because if I drag the take profit line down there, it will close out all 10, and I don't want to do that. I'm only looking to close out partial, okay? And we're looking to close out 8. So you can always come down and put a pending order on that line, okay? Put your pending order there to close out 8. And then that way you're not trying to think when it hits, because I've seen people do this. The instrument goes down and hits your line, and you know you should close. It's your rules. It's 100% a rule that you set up for yourself, that when it hits that take profit level, you are going to close partial. You've wrote it down on paper. You've etched it in stone. You got it tattooed on your back. I don't know what you've done, but it gets down there and you know you should close out partial, because you've seen so many times how it just turns and runs the other way. And when it gets down there, you don't close it. And the reason why is because your mind's thinking, but if I close out all those 8, what if it goes down here to this low? That's money I'm missing out on. And you don't do it. And then it turns and goes against you. Or turns and you sit in the negative for a while. Okay? So again, you've got the rules set for a reason. Follow them. Okay? Take your 3 months. Shoot for your targets. Follow your rules exact. You can change rules. Don't do it on the fly during the day. Live by your rules each day, all week. Change them at the end of the week. Tweak at the end of the week off of what you've gone over when you've gone back over your trades. Okay? So we're just waiting. There's a candle, and that's the one I closed the 8 on. So I'm going to tick this down to, oh, wrong way. 10, we're closing out 8, we're hitting buy. So we've locked in 280. Yeah, that matches my sheet. So we locked in 280 on our partial. Now at that point, we move the stop. Or I move the stop, sorry. There's no we in this, sorry. So move the stop down. We're still risking about 42 on the last 2 contracts, okay? I'm going to tick pretty fast because it pulls back. Another sell, okay? I could have added in there if I wanted, okay? So got in with 10, closed 8, locked in 280. I didn't add in, all right? And I just wanted a real gentle day, just not heavy on trading. Down to 4 instruments, just looking to close partial, move some stops, and let them go till 4 o'clock. That was the day I wanted today. So again, but you can add in 4 there if you want. Because again, look at what it's done. It's pulled back, okay? If you would draw a retracement line up here, a line from here on up, what's it done? Well, it's broke that retracement line. You can get in there or wait for a pullback, which is here, and get in on the pullback. I didn't do any of that today. I didn't add into anything. All right, so there we breached this level, and it shot down toward the next target level, level 3, which is our 2-time risk reward. So right there is the candle I closed on, or did I? No. So when it hit this level, I moved my stop. I did not. Let me look at my sheet. Just bear with me. All right, so we're on gold. Hit level 1, which is 30.34. Hit level 3, which is 32.8. That was this one. Nope, that's 2.4, 20.8. Yeah. And that's where I moved my stop. So when it hit this level, that's colored in blue, I went ahead and moved my stop here. And it was right at that level. So I moved it to break even. Now I'm gonna move it back a little just so you can see the dollar amount. But just bear in mind it's at break even. Okay, so I chose to leave these two run and not close them out. And then when it hit level, so we're gonna see it hit level 4, 5, and when it hits level 6, that's when I move my stop to 30. Write this down. Well, I'll leave it up. 30, 21.6. So I'm gonna hit the play button, and we need to be able to see the candles, don't we? So there, it's hit level 5. So it's actually hit it. This zone is off a 4-hour level. So we expect it to maybe hold up a little bit. That right there, it almost hit 6. It didn't. That is not the one I moved my stop on. I wanted it to hit 6. I was pretty set my ways on this one. It come up shy. I just did not move it then. Sideways for a while, even a deeper pullback. Let me pull in the candles so I can see when it hits 6 here. Slowly creeping down. Okay, so there it hit level 6 in here. Okay, so there's level 6, which is 5-to-1 risk to reward. So and when it hit that, I could have closed one. I could have closed one at 5. I just chose to leave them both go, and I was just like, okay, whatever I get at the end of the day, you know, at 4 o'clock, that's what I get. So again, I moved it to what did I say it was, 30, 21.6. So right there. So that's where I moved the stop. So at this point, if it gets stopped out before 4 o'clock, I'm getting what? I'm getting 134. Okay. So I locked in 280. That's it on the partial. Locked in 280. Overall, I got 306 on the runners. So right now the runners are 134. Okay. So again, I was looking to close at 4 o'clock. Let's just let it go and close at 4. We'll see where we're at 4 o'clock. So far, good trade overall. You look from the left to the right, it's nothing but down. We were in short. Oh, sorry guys, I didn't close. It passed me up a little bit. So it should have closed right. I should have closed it right there. I'm not going to tick it over again just to, because it's pulled up, and I'm afraid if I tick it over more, it might pull up even more. So yeah, I have to flatten it. So we got 134 is where we're at. And if I move down to this right here, okay, see that little candle. Wait a minute. I think I moved this accidentally. Right there's 4 o'clock. So it was that little doji right there. So this flat candle right here, that's the 4 o'clock candle. So if I move price down and line it up with that, you'll see that's the 306 on the two runners. Okay, so I got 306 on those on the two runners. So total 576 right here on, and that matches my sheet on gold. So a good day on gold. Again, go off what you are trying to accomplish for the day. Okay. So what did I say on Bitcoin? Because I went over that. Yeah, and here on gold. So I'm not going to go over total numbers. I'll post them out in Discord. I just wanted to show each individual item. So I'm going to cut this one off and go do the ES video. And then I got one more after that, and then I'll upload them all. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm really just trying to show you how to look for both. We're not abandoning traditional trading techniques at all. You know, the price action, the movement, we're watching that. We're seeing what it does. How is it making the highs and lows? Is it making good swings? You know, is it pulling back? is it retracing? So we could look for that, retracement line to get broken and tested. And, we're looking at after that, does it pull back? Does it give us a red signal candle? If I go short, I really only like to wait on a red candle. Sometimes I'll take a little extra risk and just say, well, it's pulled back, I'm getting in. But I full well know the risk when I do that. And as long as you know the risk, but don't start doing that and taking a bunch of losses. Because if you start doing that on every trade, you will take a bunch of losses. So it is a little riskier technique getting in just on the pullback. And that's why I'll have it dialed down to a 1 minute time frame, especially after news. And that's what we had today, was 9:45 we had news. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm off to shoot the next one.